Okay, we're starting here on page 1 of your packet, How to Simplify Radicals. There's two different methods to simplify radicals. One is we can write down all the factors, so all the ways we can multiply to a number, and look for perfect squares. So before we start this part, we're going to go ahead down here, and let's list out our first 15 perfect squares. So we're just going to go through our numbers. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so then we'll go backwards. So 4 equals the square root of 2. 9, square root of 9 equals 3. Square root of 16 equals 4. Square root of 25 equals 5. 36 equals 6. 49. 64. 81. And 100. If you don't know those would be very beneficial to memorize. Then we have 121. 144, 169, 196, and 225. So those are our perfect squares. So if we have a number, let's say we have a number like 12, so if I'm using this method, I would write out all my factors. So 12 could be written as the square root of 2 times 6. There's no perfect squares there, so I'm going to keep going. It could be written as the square root of 3 times 4. Well, 4 is one of my perfect squares. I can see that. So my answer to square root of 4 equals 2. So I could go ahead and write this out as this means square root of 3 times square root of 4. And I know that square root of 4 equals 2, so that becomes 2 root 3. A second way to do that would be to draw a factor tree. So that would be, I just divide it down, 2 times 6. 6 can divide farther to 2 times 3. And I have those doubles. 2 times 2, the square root of 2 times 2 equal the whole number 2. They cancel each other out. So the doubles go outside. Singles go inside. If you want to write that down. Inside. Okay, then let's do a little bit bigger number. So square root of 24. So again, I'm going to write out all my factors. So I can do 2 times 12. Neither of those are perfect squares. I cross it out. I can do 3 times 8. Again, not perfect squares. I cross it out. I can do 4 times 6. Do I have a perfect square there? Yes, I have the 4 again. So the answer to this one is 2 root 6. If I did the same one here, drawing the factor tree, I get 2 and 12, 2 and 6, and then 2 and 3. Doubles go outside, singles stay inside, and multiply them back together to get 6. So it gives me 2 root 6. Alright, so at this point, go ahead and pause the video and see how far you can get on the practice. Take 5 to 10 minutes to work through it on your own, and then start back up and we'll go over a few more things if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to go over the answers now to some of these. You will have to show all your work to get credit in class, so make sure you can show the steps. I will show the steps for a few in case you need more examples. So 32, usually I start by dividing it by 2. So that goes to 2 and 16. 16 I can recognize, that's one of my perfect squares. I could stop right there, or I could keep going and divide it all down, find my doubles. I'm going to stop at 16. Square root of 16 is 4, and then my answer is 4 root 2. Next one, this is a really big number, so I would use a calculator to help. If you divide by 2, it becomes 108. 108 divided by 2 is 54. 54 divided by 2 is 27. 27 can't divide by 2, but it divides by 3 and 9. 9 is one of those perfect squares. It goes down to 3 and 3. So this is one of those really big numbers. I have a set of 2's here. I have a set of 3's here. And I have 2 singles left over outside. So when there's more than one number, I just have to multiply them back together. So I multiply on the outside is 2 times 3. Inside I also have 2 times 3. That means my answer is 6 root 6. Alright, square root of 100, one of our perfect squares. It's just 10. Square root of 12, that was our example. That's 2 root 3. 50, square root of 50, we divide it out. 2 and 25, that's one of those perfect squares. So it becomes 5 root 2. 175. I would pull out calculator again for this. It ends in 5, so I'm going to divide by 5 first. 5 and 35. 5 and 7. So my answer is 5 root 7. Alright, this is another one. Make sure to show your work for it. The answer comes out to 7 root 5. 64, perfect square. That is root 8. Whole number 8. So, flip to page 2. Just a couple more examples. What do we do if there is already a number on the outside? And all we do is multiply. So, the answer is multiply. So we're going to simplify out 45 as 5 and 9. 9 is one of those perfect squares, goes to 3 and 3. So now I have 2 times 3. 5 is left alone inside. And so my answer is 6 root 5. Okay, 64, perfect square. And so it just becomes 8. So I have 5 times 8 equals 40. Multiplying radicals. We multiply whole numbers. And we multiply radicals. Okay, so we have an option here. We could simplify first and then check to see if we need to simplify again at the end, or we could just go ahead and multiply and simplify at the end. So I'm going to multiply my whole numbers. 2 times 5 is 10. Multiply my radicals, which is 45 times 5 becomes 225. That's this part right here, 225. And then I have to simplify it back out. So I'm going to go back to 5 and 45, 5 and 9, which is 3 and 3. So now I have all those doubles. This simplifies out to a whole number. So I multiply my 3 whole numbers now, and it gives me 150. Okay, so pause the video again and work on these 6 problems. When you finish, come on back, make sure you're showing all your work, and I will show you yours. Okay, so make sure you've shown your work. Some of these I will work out to explain it if you need that. Some I will just give the answers. So 32, I can go to 4 times 8, which is 4 and 2, and pull my doubles out that way. Multiply gives me 20 root 2. 175. We did that one already on the front. So this goes to, and breaks down and goes to 5 root 7. And the 10 is still there. So that gives us 50 root 7. Alright, this one becomes 80 root 2. Make sure you show the work for your teacher. This one we multiply the 2's to get 4. We multiply 5 and 3 to get 15. Those are both prime numbers, so we can't simplify. This one, we have a negative 4, so it becomes negative 20 root 10. This one, 25 is one of those perfect squares. So first of all, it just becomes 5 root 20. And then we break down the 20 to get 2 and 10, 2 and 5. Multiply my whole numbers, which becomes 10 root 5. I'm sorry, you could not see that. So there are the answers.